Welcome, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer. Today, we are focusing on something that has the power to completely transform the way we approach group work, both in the classroom and in the workplace. We're looking at the Teaming Mentor Quick Start Guide. If you've ever felt frustrated by a group project that completely went off the rails, or if you're a mentor looking to guide your mentees to incredible collaborative success, well, you are in the right place. Okay, let's dive into this. Take a second to really think about this. Have you ever been on a truly high-performing team? What did it actually feel like to be part of that group? There's a specific energy, isn't there? You probably felt valued, you felt heard, and man, you felt incredibly productive. What made that team so successful wasn't just, a stroke of luck or some magical mix of personalities. It was the presence of very specific practiced behaviors. And that brings us exactly to what we're unpacking today. So, teaming, with a capital T, is not just some abstract academic subject or a catchy buzzword. It is a highly structured, codified set of real-world skills. These are literally the exact same group skills used in cutting-edge industries, drawing directly from heavy hitters like total quality management, agile, and Lean Six Sigma frameworks. Our main goal as mentors is to institutionalize these skills so that group work becomes a seamless, productive machine rather than a chaotic, frustrating struggle. Here is our masterclass blueprint for today. We're going to start with the teaming framework, then we'll break down the 3 core teaming skills. After that, we'll cover the Foundation 5 rules, look at navigating team stages, and finally wrap up with some actionable tools for team success. All right, let's start with section 1, the teaming framework and redefining the mentor. So in a teaming environment, you aren't just playing the role of a traditional teacher. You're actually seamlessly switching between 4 distinct roles. First, you're the instructor, delivering knowledge in bite-sized chunks. Second, the facilitator, managing all those tricky interpersonal dynamics and making sure the team functions smoothly. Third, you're the coach, actively motivating the group and directing inquiry to improve performance. And finally, you're the learning manager, designing the overarching environments where all this happens. Honestly, knowing which hat to wear and when to wear it is your first major step here. Moving on to section 2, the 3 core teaming skills, our blueprint. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these 3 distinct skill sets actually interact to create a holistic team. Think of it like this. Operational skills are your team's engine. It's how they plan, solve problems, make decisions, and use process observation. Interpersonal skills, on the other hand, act as the oil. That's about recognizing constructive behavior and using tools like the MU-WE method to actively diffuse disruptions. Finally, leadership skills provide the steering wheel. That involves crafting a vision, managing change, and using facilitative processes to guide everyone. To build a great team, you absolutely need to develop all 3 of these pillars. That brings us to section 3, the Foundation 5 rules and laying the groundwork. Now, these 5 rules might seem like common sense at first glance, but I promise you, actively enforcing them creates a massive culture shift. We're talking about treating others civilly, actually walking the talk to build real trust, and patiently listening to value another person's views, which is especially crucial in diverse environments. Plus, it means focusing purely on constructive solutions and committing to hang together with supporting behaviors rather than punishing ones. When mentors model these and empower peers to enforce them, the overall team environment dramatically improves. It's truly transformational. Let's transition over to section 4, navigating team stages. This is our map. Every single team goes through a predictable chronological life cycle. They all start in the forming stage, just testing the waters, usually with a bit of anxiety about roles and goals. Then, almost inevitably, they hit storming. This is the thrashing about phase. Personalities clash, and conflict bubbles up as people try to carve out their place. But if guided well, they move into norming, where harmony emerges and clear working relationships are agreed upon. And finally, they reach the absolute peak, performing. This is when they are totally in sync, highly cohesive, and just effectively crushing problems. The absolute crucial point here, and really your superpower as a mentor, is your ability to listen to a team and immediately diagnose exactly which stage they're currently stuck in. Are they just anxious in forming, or are they actively clashing in storming? Recognizing the stage allows you to apply the exact right intervention, explain to the team what they're naturally experiencing, and swiftly guide them right back on track. And that leads us perfectly into section 5, tools for team success and our action protocols. First up in the toolkit is dealing with disruptive behavior, which, trust me, you are going to see a lot of during that turbulent storming stage. You can use the MEU we method. It's incredibly effective. M, you calmly state the negative behavior you observed and how it affects the group. You ask the mentees to share their view on the problem. We, you explore possible solutions together and get in agreement to move forward constructively. It's a beautifully simple, structured approach that strips away the emotion and quickly diffuses disruptions. Next up is a vital operational tool, consensus decision-making. This requires 3 specific steps. First, presentation of the issue without offering any solutions right off the bat. Second, a thorough discussion of all ideas. And third, making the decision by testing for consensus. Now, while this can definitely take a bit longer up front, using this specific process builds immense team trust. And the payoff? Once a decision is finally made, implementation is incredibly fast because everybody is already on board. Now, during that discussion phase we just talked about, you as a mentor really have to help your teams separate their positions from their interests. Positions are just emotional stances. They're based on ego, personality, or roles within the group. Interests, on the other hand, are what is actually genuinely important to a team member regarding the final outcome. You have to guide the team to focus strictly on those genuine interests to keep the whole discussion productive. Okay, when it comes down to the final decision vote, the phrase, "I can live with it," is everything. I want to dramatically emphasize this point right here. Consensus absolutely does not mean 100% enthusiastic agreement from every single person in the room. If someone has reservations but can agree to live with it, guess what? Consensus is reached. This is a perfectly valid vote that allows the entire team to move forward, and it completely prevents single holdouts from endlessly stalling the team's progress. Our final tool today is process observation. Now, the golden rule here is that one team member is designated as the observer, but crucially, and don't miss this, they remain a participant in the activity. They still engage in the work, but they're simultaneously watching the interactions, taking notes, and then reporting back with descriptive, constructive feedback at the end. It's a fantastic operational skill for diagnosing team health and holding a mirror up to the group so they can self-correct. Initially, you as the mentor might actually play this role just to model exactly how it's done. Well, that brings us to the end of our blueprint. So I have to ask, how will you use teaming to transform your next group into an unstoppable, high-performing team? You now have the framework, the core skills, the foundation rules, the math of the team stages, and the operational tools to make it all happen. The power to completely revolutionize learning and collaboration is right there in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I honestly can't wait to see how you apply these strategies out there in the real world.